What's up YouTube, this is Manuel and welcome to another video of Lifestyles and Sneakers. Today, as you can see, we're going to be comparing all these Yeezy Boost 700 V2s that was released in 2019. So let's go! This year has been a year of the Yeezy 700s. They've released so many colorways from the V1 and the V2s. For the V1s, they have already released the Salts, the Inertias, and for the V2s, they have released the Vantas, the Geodes, and the Tefras. So overall, Yeezy have released 7 700s this year. And for this episode, we will be discussing the 700 V2s, like which one is the best, which is the worst, and which one you should cop. We will be discussing the pros and cons of each sneakers and decide in the end which one would be the best. So let's start with the Vantas. For the Vantas, technically this is the all black sneakers that Yeezy have released, but if you hold it and you look at it closely, actually it's not really all black. There's a lot of hints of gray on it, and because of the texture of the suede material, it gives you a gray effect. And the 3M materials is also in gray. But overall, you can really say that this is a black shoe. Let's count how many materials does the Vantas have on the upper. First, they have the suede material. So the suede material that they use in these sneakers is actually two different kinds. The one in the toe box and on the side is the same, while on the heel is a different kind of suede. It's more hairy. Now let's talk about the base of the sneakers. The base of the sneakers is actually a netted textile, which you can see, which is not really premium in my opinion. Now the laces is just normal, just your basic laces. And then now I think we need to check the 3M hints on the upper. Right off the bat, you have the 3M hints on the toe area. That's one. And then you have this holder for the lace loop. That's two. The lace loop itself, that's three. And then this lining over here is 3M material. That's four. So at the back, you have this 5 dots over here, which is also in 3M materials inside, together with this one underneath. So that makes it 7. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So overall, you have 12 3M hints on the upper of this Vantas. Now the midsole and the outsole is actually exactly the same as the others. It only varies in color. So this one is actually dark gray or close to black. And then the bottom part is also in black. But this midsole has 3M hints on these two eyelets. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So you have 4 3M hints on here to combine with the 3M hints on the upper. So overall, they have 14 3M hints for these sneakers. So now let's move on to the Geodes. So let's start with all the materials that they use on the upper of the sneakers. So let's count it. The toe box, you have this suede material, and then another type of suede material on the sides. They have a leather material which is different and gives it a more premium look. And then at the back, you have another, let me see, is this leather? I think this is leather also on the heel side area. And then you have a suede over here. Again, different material of suede, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's it's the same suede as this one. And basically that's it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 plus the base of the sneakers, which is actually, it's like a prime knit material. And then of course on the above here, on the above of the heel is mesh material. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 materials that was used on the upper of these sneakers. So now let's look at the laces. The laces actually gives a different look compared to the others because these laces are 3M reflective, even the tips. So that's a huge plus for these sneakers. So now let's count the 3M hints on these sneakers. So you have 1 in the toe area, then 2 on the lace holder, you have 3 on the other lace loops over here, then 4 for all these stripes, and then 5 and 6 for the dots and the 3M hints on the bottom, and then 7, 8 on the back, on the other side 9, 10, and then 11, and then of course the laces, which makes it 12. So the geodes have the same number of 3M hints on the upper compared to the Vantas. Now on the midsole, like I mentioned, it's all the same. However, this one doesn't have any 3M hints, but it has a different color on the sole. So this one has a gum sole, which is actually very nice because I like gum sole, for me, in my opinion. So the Vantas have more 3M hints compared to the geodes. However, the 3M hints on these sneakers is way more louder than the Vantas, because the laces alone, there's a huge area that is covered with 3M, plus the 4 stripes over here, because the Vantas only have 1 stripe on 3M. Remember, this one has 4. So now let's look at the last pair, which is the Tefras. So let's start with the upper of the Tefras. On the toe, you have this suede material in light gray, and then there's another light gray suede material which is more hairy on the top, and then you have another suede material over here in the darker gray, and this one also is another suede material, and then here is a more hairier suede material of the dark gray. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of suede material on the upper of these sneakers. Now the base of the sneakers is actually underwhelming because it's only like canvas, so it doesn't really give you a premium feel. It looks very cheap. However, they made up for that by adding 2 different leather material near the lace loops. So you have a tumbled leather over here and another premium leather on the lace loops itself. This sneaker also has, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first 700 V2 that has a rubberized 3 stripes. So this is not 3M reflective, this is just a rubberized material. The laces are exactly the same as the Vantas, just a plain laces, no 3M hints. And speaking of the 3M hints, let's start with the toe. There's 1, then lace holder over here, there's 2. Then you have 2 on each side of the lace holder, the last 2 lace holders over here. So that's 4. And then the usual, the 5 dots over here, the 3 dots, and the other side also, 1, 2, 3. And then the sides, 1, the middle one, and the other side, that's 1, 2, 3 again, so that's 6. So that makes it 10 3M hints for the upper of these sneakers. Another material that they use is the mesh material on the top of the heel. So the geodes and the Tefras have the same material on the top of the heel on this side. So on the midsole, you have the same as I mentioned, all of them are the same, but the difference between this one and the other two is that this one has a 3M reflective, which the geodes doesn't have, and it has a gum sole, which the Vantas doesn't have. So I like how they really like make it different. You know, we all think that it's all the same, but actually it's all different. So now which one is the best looking colorway amongst the 3? For me, just by looking at the aesthetics and not taking into consideration the quality of materials that was used for these sneakers, my opinion, the Tefras has the best colorway. I mean, you see the transition from light gray to dark gray, and then the gum sole. So for me, aesthetically, this one is the best looking one amongst all these 3 sneakers. How about you guys? Please comment down below which one do you think has the best colorway in terms of aesthetics. So if you're looking for functionality, for me, Tefra would be the least favorite because of the light gray upper. It makes it more dirtier than the other 2. Obviously, the Vantas will be the favorites on this one because it's all black, so it's not really that difficult to clean. Although the geodes as well will be a good alternative. So now let's do a pros and cons on each sneakers. So let's start with the Tephra. So let's start with the pros. The pros on these sneakers is that it looks good. It has a balance of different materials on the sneakers. The colorway is probably one of the best of all the Yeezy 700s. And I think it is the cheapest amongst all of them on resale. Now the cons for the Tephras would be definitely it's since it's a lighter shade, then you need to clean it as often as you can because it can easily get dirty. And the material of the base of the sneakers is kind of cheap. It's just canvas, so it's not really that good. Now let's move on the geodes. So let's move to the pros of the geodes. For me, number one is the 3M hints because it's too loud. It's like a head turner. I love the 3M hints all over the sneakers. Although it doesn't have anything on the midsole, the upper really made up for it. Then the quality of materials that they use on these sneakers, the prime knit material, the suede, different type of suede material, and the leather really makes it more of a premium sneakers. And then of course the laces, which is the only one amongst the three that has 3M reflective laces. Since I mentioned the sock liner, here the sock liner is dark, so it's it's easier, or it hides the dirt. So it's not really, we don't really have to clean it. For the cons, I think one of the most argued or mentioned cons of these sneakers is the colorway because they think it's so ugly. For me personally, I don't find it that way, but yeah, that can be a con. And then another con will be the 3M hints on the midsole because I think this is the only 700 V2s that doesn't have the 3M hints on the midsole. And I can't really think of any cons other than those. So I think we'll move on to the Vantas. Now for the Vantas, for those people who love black sneakers, all black sneakers, this is the number one pro of these sneakers. It's a black sneakers. You don't have to clean it as often as you need to because it's all black. The 3M hints is all over the place. It has a nice blend of 3M hints and suede material around the upper. And since it's black, the sock liner is also in black. So you know what I mean. And then for the cons, maybe the con that I will mention for this one is that the stripes is not in 3M. It's like a cheap felt-like material over here. And then the main or the base of the sneakers is in cheap textile, knitted textile. So I don't really like that. Basically, that's the con for these sneakers. So guys, have you decided which one should be the best and which one is the worst? In my opinion, this is how I'm gonna grade this. So my number 3 would be the Vantas, number 2 would be the Tephras, and my number 1 will be the Geode. Isn't it obvious? I always mention the Geodes because I really think that this is very underrated sneakers because of the colorway, but actually it's really functional, it's easy to wear, and honestly it's not that bad. It looks good. If you're just looking for a nice sneakers to wear or a nice Yeezy, I would highly recommend to get the Tephras because the colorway is really nice. The blend of gray to dark gray is really on point, and it's cheap. It's cheaper on resale. If you want something that is very minimalistic, very simple, a touch of 3M hints here and there, then you go for the Vantas because I think these sneakers is the one that you can really like beat up and wear it every time because it is comfortable. But if you like something that is in between the two, because like I was saying, I arrange it like this because honestly this is in between the two sneakers, then I would pick the Geodes because it has the right balance between the Tefras and the Vantas. So that's why this is my pick. So now let me show you again how these bad boys look on feet so you can see which one looks better on feet. So guys, what do you think? The Vantas, the Geodes, or the Tefras? Please comment down below which one you like the most. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please press the thumbs up button down below. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please press the subscribe button. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.